Now, if anyone has looked on Facebook over the last few days, there was an announcement there that we're making a special announcement today. And several people say, well, what is the announcement? Well, I said, well, let's say it was a surprise, so come Sunday, you'll find out. So, in saying that, we have multiple ministries in ways that we've ministered in this community for the last 2.5 years. We've launched many new things, we've worked on this facility, we've prepared ourselves, we've prepared this facility for outreach, for the sole purpose of connecting to people and connecting people to God. Connecting to people, connecting to our parish, our community, our neighborhood, and letting them know that they can be connected to God. Now, for several weeks, I've been mulling over this phrase of mine that I've been thinking about. It's if we keep doing the same ministry, the same outreach, then we'll continue to reach the same people. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely wonderful. But our calling is to our parish, our full neighborhood. So today, I'm excited to invite the Bones now, Edward and Carly, and they're going to tell us a means and a new initiative that will enable us to expand our ministry and to expand our outreach.
Probably go to the other side. See, it's that's where the building.
We're going to kind of introduce. Hello? Can you hear me? Carly and I first wanted to thank you for letting us come up and speak with you about what we feel is a really important part of the church and has been missing for many years, although it was a really integral part of the church for decades. But at first I wanted to kind of go over the history of the church because a lot of people are unaware of the history at all. You can go to the website and get a nice summary. We're lucky to have as our neighbor a lady who was the historian for the church for almost 20 years, and we've been able to visit with her over the last years since we've been here and hear different stories, so we've incorporated a little bit of that as well. And she's the oldest living member of St. Mark. She can't see anymore. And many of you know Ginger. Ginger actually helps to take care of her. She's not here today. But, anyway, so St. Mark's began as Hill City Mission, which was actually founded in 1887 near the corner of Forest and Colville Street. It was actually on Colville Street at that time. And then later, a small church was allowed to be built by some donation of land. And they built the initial church for $1,600. Just amazing if you think about it. But the original location was in a home, and a gentleman by the name of Laclede Barrow, he was 24 years old, he studied divinity student at the University of Chattanooga, which is today UTC. He started our church. And Reverend Barrow became a very popular speaker, and he was assigned to a number of other parishes in and around Chattanooga, Cameronville, and St. Elmo. And he traveled with his wife to China as a missionary, but sadly passed away in 1894 from smallpox. He was only 31 years old, but he did a lot in that in those few years of his life. St. Mark's Methodist Episcopal Church, which it was then named, was then located on the corner of Colville and Forest. And it was there for a number of years, and that particular church was built for a very small sum of something around $5,000. So then they decided that they were getting bigger and bigger, and they wanted to build a larger church, which is the one that we're in today. And it was built in 1912, and in 1913, it was designed by the famed architect W.H. Sears, and construction was completed in 1913 for approximately $35,000. So the current building we're sitting in was built in 1912 for $35,000. which at that time was a lot of money. And of course, what was interesting is that the church received a lot of its initial support from the members of the First Methodist Church, the main one here in Chattanooga downtown, including people like John Patton, who was the founder of what is today called Chatham, and his wife Edith Manker. If any of you play tennis, Manker Patton, that's where that comes from. So people that were very much involved in our community supported this church, and that donation was $10,000. So we moved forward, and this is the congregation as they appeared in 1920. And actually, on the far right there, there's a little young man, you can't see it, but he's in a scout uniform, and that ended up being Mrs. Close's husband.
Wow.
An article that was printed in the Chattanooga Times in 1921 reported that St. Mark's was one of Chattanooga's most beautiful buildings, and I'm sure we can all agree to that. It really is beautiful when you drive up and see it. The church became commonly known as the neighborhood church, and everybody called it that. It wasn't called St. Mark's, it wasn't called anything, it was called the neighborhood church. And I think that's what we are today. This is a neighborhood church. And it's not just the local neighborhood, it's the neighborhood that represents truly what Chattanooga is all about and where Chattanooga is going as a community. The congregation grew to approximately 100 members and was represented by the beautiful diversity of the local community like it is today. As the Sunday school participation grew to about 120, a log cabin was built behind this church in 1935. And that's where our gymnasium now is. So the church, the log cabin was there. And from stories that Mrs. Close told, everyone really loved this log cabin. They didn't even want it to be torn down. They wanted to move it to another site, but it turned out to not be possible when they built the gym. But here you can see the group there. And the Sunday school participation was so huge that it was far larger than the actual everyday participation of the church. So we move forward, or we go from this historical standpoint of change and faith and equality, and I'll give you some historical markers that can give you some ideas to how progressive St. Mark's was at the time. November 13, 1913, the congregation marched, and so everyone could see and hear from their old location, and it was a snowy day. Everyone walked together, and as they were walking, they were singing "Onward Christian Soldiers" to their new location. St. Mark's joined the North Chattanooga Cooperative Parish and stood firm against racial bigotry during a time when riots and shootings were common in the South. St. Mark's became the first racially integrated congregation in Chattanooga. Also, St. Mark's was the very first church that had an integrated scout troop, which I think is major. And Chattanooga, by the way, was the very first city in the country that had a black scout master. So I think that is really, it shows how forward-thinking we were at the time. And we still are, and we're hoping that we can continue that in many different ways. And in 2012, St. Mark's launched the process of revitalization and reconnection as the neighborhood church, truly reflecting the diversity and love of our community. And that's thanks to the spiritual leadership of Carl and the rest of you that are here, Anna, and our incredible team back here. So, St. Mark's looking to the future, as they did at that time when they were first coming up with the designs for the new church, which was then celebrated in 1987 centennial. Here's where we are today. But this is just a building. So it's a building, it's an important building. And there are aspects of the building that are very important for us that we can use. But again, we want to focus on us as individuals and our group as a community. And as we look towards the future, there are certain things that we could possibly be doing together to help continue to grow and to expand this belief of cultural diversity. And Carl has done a great job of introducing so many different wonderful things to the church. And all these amazing themes that we've had throughout the last couple of years St. Mark's has done an amazing job of exploring the intersection of spirituality and the expression of faith. And incredible things. St. Mark's was the one that actually attracted my wife and I to the church initially. And there's been so many more since. And of course, the praise and worship team has been working to spread the message in our neighborhood for decades. This is one of the groups that, I think this picture is from like the 1920s. Or 30s, is that 30s? So that was when we had the original organ that actually wasn't working. Now it's electrical, but it works beautifully. And of course our current group, this is the best photo I could get from you guys, so I had to take another one today. Make sure we had it better. And in 1965, we had the addition of the gym in the back. For those of you that aren't aware of that, I wasn't aware of it for like months. Somebody said, oh, we're going to meet over the gym. We have a gym? So we went over there, and not only have a gym, we have all sorts of other things. And at that time, it was called the All-Purpose Building. So our church was notorious for not naming it a normal thing. We just called it All-Purpose Building. So, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And I like it. So I think we want to make it an all-purpose building again, not just have it as a gym. And in those days, the cost in 1965 was $100,000. So in today's dollars, that's almost $1 million. That's a big, big debt they took on at that time. And they were able to pay it off in a very short period of time. They even had a big, huge celebration where they burned the mortgage of that amount. So this is what the gym looked like. It looks quite a bit better than that. I wanted to show you kind of an older picture of what it did look like before the team got together and really the trustees supported the renovation of it. So now it's much more usable. The roof is fixed. And we have, over the years, St. Mark's has served the community with organizations such as the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Explorers, and as a site for the YMCA programs and offering daycare services. These are all things that we've done in the past, and we're starting to do again. We have a Boy Scouts troop here, meeting here again. And we've stayed connected to the community through various different festivals, the City Fest, family-oriented events. We have Chris Kringle, Chris Art that we do where we have a Christmas celebration, Christmas arts and crafts that are available, weekday and evening meetings. So what's next? Carly's going to take over this section.
All right, I'm not the best public speaker, so one of the biggest reasons we wanted to take this mission on was simply to find another way to bring the community together. And again, as Carl mentioned, not just the St. Mark's community, but the neighborhood and further. We have finished phase 1 of the gym, and as you can see here, it's the ribbon cutting. But beyond that, our goal for phase 2 is the community kitchen. And I can't get too emotional here. It means a lot to me, because as a child, I grew up in a small church, and that community kitchen at that church would host a dinner on Wednesday nights, and it was my family, and I want that here for everyone.
Awesome. So Carly did all the awesome animation of this and putting together some of these fun pictures to kind of express what it is that we'd like to see happen here. So we want to have a stronger community and activities for children and families, neighborhood, community outreach. And these are pictures of other churches that are doing other things very similarly, but we can do it in a different way. I think we can reach more people and do more things that are going to be, I think, instrumental in the way that our church can share love. And let's face it, don't we all feel this way? I think everybody can agree that they'd love to have a church somewhere, or even just a place to come together and worship together and have, share and break bread together. And I think it's also important that we can reach out to, if we want to reach out to the homeless, if we want to reach out to various different groups in our community. If we needed a place for shelter, if we had, heaven forbid, some kind of natural disaster, we would have the ability to do that for our community. And we can make this happen together. So here's where we are today in the kitchen. This is what it looks like right now downstairs. So there's been a lot of work done. There was a gentleman by the name of Olin Sanders. Mrs. Close shared this with me. Many of you probably remember him. But he worked for Swift Meat Packing. He designed the original kitchen because he was the one they knew was going to do all the cooking in the kitchen. He was a great cook. And he had all the access to all this free meat. So they'd have these great dinners and fundraisers and neighbor gatherings. It was literally every week, and people would look forward to coming here because of this great cooking and getting together. So that even though it looks very sparse right now, a lot of things have been done to upgrade the kitchen to where we're at a point where we can really move forward. And those are, the electrical has been redone, the gas has been redone, and the hood is up to code. And for those of you that know anything about commercial kitchens, just getting the hood up to code is a huge, huge deal. We have a stove that's been donated, which could need some refurbishing. We're hoping it will work just fine, but things that are needed are commercial appliances, obviously refrigerator, cabinets, serving equipment, and also we would love to have a design service so that anybody that is an interior designer that knows how to do that. It would be a commercial kitchen, but it could still use a lot of ideas. So where we are right now is we have a commitment of $5,000, so we're well on our way to reach the goal. We have estimates of right around $50,000 that it would cost to complete the kitchen to get it going. So over the next months, we're going to have some various gatherings and fundraisers and things like that. And this church is a building. It's an important building. It's where we worship. It's our church, and the future of it depends on us. But it's about us. It's not about the building itself. It's about us as a group. It's what we want. So we would want everyone's input. So if you have ideas, or if you have skills, or anything at all that you'd like to contribute, or if you want to be part of the committee, not next Saturday, not next Sunday, but the following Sunday, we're going to have a fellowship luncheon, and it's going to be kind of a potluck lunch, and everybody can bring something, those that want to attend, and we will do it down in the gymnasium area next to the kitchen, so you can come and walk through and kind of come up with ideas and participate, and hopefully we'll raise some funds towards the church. So thank you for your time and attention, and we love being part of this church.
Thank you all for taking on this project, which is a project. But I love what Edward kept restating. The building, the facility, the kitchen is a means. It's not an end. And it's not just for us. We will gain a lot of family support from that, but it's for future ministries, for people that we don't even know. And that's still the goal. Before we finish, I just want to say a prayer blessing on the bones. And if you'll raise your hands this way if you're comfortable, and let's pray for them. Dear God, I want to say thank you. Thank you for this family we call St. Mark's. Thank you for Edward, Harley, and for bringing them into our lives. I thank you that you've laid this project on their hearts, and I thank you that their heart is one that beats for others, that beats for this community, that beats for the marginalized, beats for children, and for people that we do not even know. We ask today that you will bless them, bless their family, bless this endeavor that they're taking on. We pray that you will bless the team that comes around and the committee that comes around to make this a reality. And lastly, we pray a prayer blessing on the people that we will connect with, that we will minister to, and that we will love through the efforts of this community kitchen when it is finished. In your name.